problem number 15 on the review. We have a function f of x equals 2x squared minus 3x plus 2. And we're asked to do three different things which ultimately lead up to what we call the difference quotient. The first thing that is necessary to our end result is we want to be able to find out what is f of x plus h minus f of x, and we're going to divide that by h. But the way that we did this problem is we do this in steps. So the first thing we had you do is this part right here, f of x plus h. So we'll do that first. What that means we're going to do is we're going to take x plus h and we're going to replace x in the function, which is there and there, with x plus h. So I have 2 times x plus h, which has to get squared. That's going to be done by FOIL. That's x plus h times x plus h. So if you do that on your scratch paper, you should be able to see where I'm going with that. Minus 3 times x plus h plus 2. So we need to simplify this here. So when I do x plus h squared, let me write it over here so I have enough room, hopefully. X plus h squared is going to be x squared. We're going to have 2 xh's, so that's going to be plus 2xh. And then we have an h squared. Okay, if you do FOIL on your paper, and you attempt x plus h times x plus h, you should get that. Okay, that's what I just did there. Now I'm just going to write everything else that I have, just copy it on down, and we will simplify this. Down. So I'm going to distribute. So this is going to become 2x squared plus 4xh plus 2h squared. Now in the second parentheses, I'm going to take this minus sign here, means we call this negative 3. So I'm going to take negative 3 and I'm going to distribute it through x plus h. So that gives me negative 3x or minus 3x. And minus 3h as well. And then I got plus 2. And that is basically all that we can do. We can change the order if you want to. We could write it in a different order, but that is basically what f of x plus h is. So I'm going to leave it like that. Okay. The next thing we were asked to do, it was a 3-part problem, and on the answer sheet that I gave you guys, I forgot the other 2 parts. I did put them on the board. Hopefully most of you copied those down. But next we're going to do f of x plus h, and we're going to take that minus f of x. Well, we already got this. We already have f of x plus h. That's all the stuff that you see in the box here that I drew the box around. So I'm just going to rewrite all that stuff. So I have the 2x squared plus 4xh plus 2h squared. Then I have the minus 3x minus 3h plus 2. Now what I have to do is I have to subtract. I'm running out of room here, so I got to write small. I got to subtract f of x. Well, f of x is the original function up here. Okay, 2x squared minus 3x plus 2. So that goes in the parentheses. Now this minus sign in front of that parentheses gets distributed. So everything inside of here is going to change signs. If it's positive, it becomes negative. If it's negative, it becomes positive. What that's going to result in is it's going to result in some nice cancellations. For instance, 2x squared will cancel with the eventual negative 2x squared. I also look here, I have a negative 3x. That's going to cancel with what's going to become a positive 3x because I'm distributing that negative. And this plus 2 here is going to cancel with this, which becomes a negative 2. So that leaves us with, let's put it in order here, 2h squared. Technically, we should start with higher exponents and go down to lower exponents. So I got that one. Let's see, what else is left? I have plus 4xh and then I have a minus 3h. And that's all I got. So this here is f of x plus h minus f of x. Okay. The last thing is we were asked to put all of this together and do the eventual, what we call the difference quotient. Take f of x plus h minus f of x and divide by h. Well, we already got this stuff. We already have the numerator here is exactly what is in this box. We did f of x plus h minus f of x. I'm going to rewrite that. I have 2h squared plus 4xh minus 3h, and all of that is going to get divided by h. So this just cancels nicely. All three of the things in the numerator have h in them. So we're just going to divide them all by h, and we're going to get our finished result here. So this is going to become 2h, because the h in the denominator canceled out one of these 2h squareds, and I'm left with just 2h, because one of the h's disappeared, plus, now I go into the 4xh, well, the h's cancel, and I get 4x. And then on the last one, the h cancels, and I'm left with minus 3. So this simplifies down to 2h plus 4x minus 3. That's number 15 on the review. I hope that it makes sense hearing it rather than just looking at it on your sheet of paper.